This is the Goode Show. I'm Surinder, a proud military spouse of 26 years. My guy retired as a Command Master Chief after serving 30 years as a Navy SEAL. I'm also a mom, an entrepreneur, and an advocate for the military community. Here at the Goode Show, we delve into the inspiring lives of military spouses. From navigating deployments to building thriving businesses, we're here to empower, educate, and connect. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's get into it, because the Goode Show is where your story matters. Welcome to this week's episode. My name's Surinder. I am your host, and this is the 50th episode of the Goode Show. Can you believe it, Brian?
No, not at all. When you said it this morning, I couldn't believe it. It's been 50 times we've been in a booth.
Yeah.
On a location.
Yeah.
In a room.
That's right.
In my office.
I know. It's crazy. It is crazy when I think about it, because that's a lot of episodes.
It is. It's a lot of episodes.
A lot of shit's gone by there.
Yeah. But you know what's cool? Like you said earlier, somebody recognized you from your podcast.
They did. I was like, yay! And it was at, I took Kim with me to the Women's Week festival, which was at Women's Week 2025 in San Diego at the Viasat campus. And as we were checking in registration, one of the beautiful girls there, Nathanalia, I think her name was, she turned around to me and she went, "Oh, I recognize your name. You were interviewing Kemi Pavlok." And I was like, "Yeah, Kimmy, we made it, babe."
That's the best feeling, isn't it?
It is.
That you're making a positive impact.
Yeah.
It could have been like, oh my God, it's her.
Oh my good Lord.
I mean? So the fact that it's somebody that's you've affected in a positive way.
Yeah.
Kudos.
I know, and remember that day we went to Kemi's place and all those people were waiting outside for her to open.
Yeah.
I think it's great that a veteran-owned business, that we've, had them on the show, and we're helping them get the word out. But just from her perspective, it's great for her to see it as well, because sometimes when you're behind the counter and when you're in it, you don't see it.
No.
It's
very difficult. You have to step outside.
Yeah.
Or rely on people to tell you the impact that you're having. Yeah.
So I think it's really good for, and Kemi, girlfriend, fantastic honey. Obviously we've gone back and purchased it, but it's got to be nice to see those people that were waiting to get into the store. And one of them actually told me that she made a point of going to Kemi's store because of the candle with the finger. And I love that.
Didn't you bought two? Did you buy?
No, I bought one.
You bought one? Okay.
I bought the little one, so it was only a little finger. But, yes, I did great candles, and they smell good as well. Gave it to Jordan.
No, Kimmy's a little store. I love that.
Yeah.
It's a nice little spot.
So it's been really good to get to talk to all these veteran entrepreneurs and spouses over these 50 episodes.
Absolutely.
Now, what do you think, Brian? Because your boy's in the military, but your interaction with military on a day-to-day basis as a parent is obviously different because your kid's away as well.
Yes, and we get one phone call a week, and we're happy for that.
Yeah.
I had to threaten him to let him know that he did have parents on the other side of the globe. So I get to hear, his stories.
Yeah.
But when we started, it was, I think it was one of the first interviews when you were discussing the perils that military wives go through.
Yeah.
And I said, what do you mean?
That's right.
And I said, you mean the government doesn't give you all this money to move?
I remember that. Yeah. No.
So that opened my eyes. It really did. And he's not married.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I'm trying to get him married.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
How old is he?
He's going to be 29 in June, right? It's about that time.
Well, hey, you know what you want at that age. I think most people do.
So I guess his outlook is going to be a little bit different as well. Mm-hmm. And when I talk to him and what he's going through is going to change because now he's a bachelor. Living off base with an apartment on the water in Okinawa. That's completely different than moving with a family. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and completely different to, any of the barracks that I've seen, because I haven't seen any, with a water view. So, those are very different kind of different kind of experience. But that's the good thing as well. He's got to go further afield, experience a different culture, a different lifestyle altogether. It's really eye-opening, and I think that's another understanding that military spouses have, kind of with all the moves that we have to do.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
which again comes along with those perils, because, you know, and then you're told, okay, now, and this is the craziest thing. I was thinking about this morning. As military spouses, we have really zero control over where we are moving to.
Right.
Unless you turn around and go, hey, I'll see you when you get back. We're moving to wherever they tell us to move to. And with that comes a lot of emotional turmoil as well, and just logistical.
Right,
because
right,
now,
right.
again, you got to put kids into schools, you know, you got to, there's so
Which
much
is something
involved in
I
there.
never thought about. You don't, you know, when you go, oh yeah, military family moving, especially speaking to you and to your guests, and you go, yeah, we moved from here to there, and then when you started speaking about, oh, I got to get the kids in school, and then, you know, now I have to figure out, am I going to get a part-time job?
Yep, yeah.
And, you know, and how are you going to meet friends? And, you know, the now you have to, I guess, insert yourself into that already established community.
That's right. Yes, it's and it's daunting because, you know, as a I always remember as a new spouse, you know, you're. It's crazy because I always remember thinking, okay, I'm 29 and now I got to go make friends.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and it's a crazy concept. And sometimes, yeah, you're right. There are, you know, friendships that have been, or communities that have been established for a long time. Maybe they're a little tighter, you know.
Right. Of course.
But I have to say that the community that I went into, I have zero complaints. There's a lot of women there. It was great, man. There was a lot of senior enlisted spouses there that took me to a side and they were like, all right, Sister Sledge, this is how we rock and roll here.
Right.
You know, and so that was nice. Always a military spouse willing to help.
That's cool. That is. And then, you know, you have the dynamics of, am I this person's friend simply because her husband worked with my husband?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or am I genuinely clicking with this person? Yeah. And regardless if they're still working together, are we still going to remain friends?
It's funny because I'm not going to mention their names, but the two spouses that we interviewed who unfortunately, you know, the marriage didn't work out, we spoke about that. You know, you do become friends with the spouses of the guys in that command.
Right.
You know, and 9 times out of 10, you know, you're friends for a long time. You know, they're good. They're good women. You know, we're all in the same boat. And it is unfortunate, like the two spouses we spoke to, and I think this happens in the civilian world as well. Sometimes, you know, okay, you're going through this separation, divorce, and people pick sides.
That happens.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there are a lot of things that transcend into civilian life. So, you know, there's a lot of things that are the same, but because you move around so often, it's a lot more amplified for military families. And
the two spouses we spoke to from a business perspective felt that after divorce, they weren't... certain resources that were available to them when they were married weren't available to them. And these were spouses that had been married for 10 plus years. Yeah. You know, so I never thought of that because I'm still married. So I myself, as we've taken this journey, I've been learning a lot of things as well.
Yeah, because like you said, it's not something that, you know, that affects you in that way. And then what I didn't think about until we spoke about it are the kids. And you hear about it, you know, I was a military brat, so we moved from place to place. And I didn't have many friends. And I'm thinking, oh my God. Because I was fortunate that from, you know, middle school to like my first year in college, I lived the same place. Yeah. I moved out, but I was still in the same town. Yeah. So I could always call up, you know, people that I knew from elementary school. Yeah. But then I left the state, but I left it as an adult.
And it's different then. It's different. And I think you know, as any mom knows, when you move from point A to point B or move out of your home to some other place, you know, for your kids, you want to get them acclimated, situated, get them in. And your anxiety as a parent
Right.
is just, hey, let's get kids situated, you know. But, you know, those kids that I spoke to, I will say the older kids have said to me that, yeah, absolutely, it sucked, you know.
But I think the older kids probably were not privy to social media like kids
yes.
today. You know, when I moved away, the only way that we stayed in touch is if I called you.
That is true.
You know what I mean? There was no emails. I couldn't check your Instagram, your Facebook, or anything like that. So when Facebook came, well, it was actually Classmates. When Classmates and what was the
Classmates?
first?
Brian, you're old, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When Classmates, I got a message or something, join Classmates, and I click on that, and I see like everyone that I graduated with, and we're sending each other messages, and I'm going, oh my God, this is cool. And then then MySpace.
That's right, MySpace.
And then I'm like, oh, I could be in contact with people. But you know what was crazy? And this has nothing to do with military. People that you were super, super close with in high school.
Yeah.
Grew up together, you know, went through puberty together, and you're like, oh my God, I haven't seen this person in forever. And you shoot them a text, hey, what's going on? And they're like, hey, hi.
I know.
And you're like, hey, what are you up to? Nothing.
I know.
And you're like, yo, weren't we mad cool? I was I was really disappointed, and that happened a bunch of times. Yeah. It really did.
But you know what? I was thinking about this the other day as I was talking to a couple of military spouses. It's like, again, the people that you went to school with and had a strong bond with, similar to a military marriage, strong bond, right?
Right.
As time goes on, just human nature, people themselves change.
Right.
You know?
Right.
For us, you throw on deployments and not having the opportunity to make that connection, not go as far, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, people, you know, your buddy from school, yeah, of course, you guys were tight.
I mean, so you know, when I was going through my first divorce, a friend of mine next door, my next door neighbor, and we weren't friends for long, maybe like a year or two before we split up and we moved. He said, in a marriage, you have to have a common bond.
Yeah.
Something that keeps you together. Not just the kids, but something that keeps you together. And he drew a map, and people can't see what I'm doing, but he said, you either grow together or you grow apart.
Yeah.
And people that we went to school with, we were common with silly things, movies, likes, or whatever it is. But as adults, we've gone in completely different directions. And it's great if you have something in common that you can now reconnect with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like a really good friend of mine, I won't mention any names, but he's probably not listening anyway. Politically, we don't agree. But when we were growing up, we were cool. Yeah. And I know times have changed. He's a white guy. I'm a black dude. Bet you didn't know that. And you know, and this is Long Island, New York, and this is in the late 70s, early 80s. Race relations then you had some tensions. But as young kids, we didn't care. You know what I mean? If you're friends, whatever, you know what I mean? And we hung out, and he did his hockey thing, and I tried to play basketball. I sucked. But and he listened to rock, and I listened to quote unquote disco. Yeah. Right? But as you know, when we got older and we reconnected on Facebook, the posts that he was doing was so polar opposite to what my belief is right now. Yeah. And, you know, and I kind of called him out on it. I'm like, yo, dude, nothing for nothing, but a lot of your posts are bordering on racism. Wow. And he didn't feel that way. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, man? I got to unfriend you.
Dude, that's, you know... Yeah, things, I think people get affected in...
So, but what I'm saying is, you know, you grow apart, and it's okay. Yeah. It's just like when I was going through my divorce, and I'm thinking, oh my God, how could we not be together? We were meant to be together. We were 18. You know what I mean? 18. At 18, right, the boy I was at 18 wasn't the man I was at 25. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we very quickly grew apart. And it wasn't until I got older that I realized that, oh my God, you're allowed to fall out of love with someone. Yeah. It's not the worst thing in the world. Your spouse is allowed to say, I just don't have those deep emotions for you like I used to.
You just never really want to be on the receiving end of it, though, do you?
It hurts, right?
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? It hurts,
yeah.
but it's a reality. And, you know, again, and you hear this so many times, oh, we're going to stay together for the kids. That's the worst thing.
Well, you know, it's not that I am... you know, I try not to... I know a couple of couples, unfortunately, because in the military space, divorce... probably...
Well, you said, I don't want to cut you. You
Yeah.
said a statistic to me the other day.
Yeah.
What is the divorce rate after the military spouse retires?
Well, now the rate that I gave you was specific to my community. It wasn't nation. It wasn't,
Okay.
you know, I can't talk about
But
anybody
even
else.
your community.
Yeah, it's in the 90s, and 2 years after, you know, retirement, it has shot up to 99, you know, and that is sometimes the way it goes. However, I will say that not only in the community that I'm a part of, but across the military, there have been so many more resources brought in, so much more understanding and so much more available to both service member and to spouse to try and, okay, you know, it's never anybody's first choice, I don't think.
No.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But, yeah, and because there is a toll on deployments, you know, for the person being at home and the person being away. Separation takes a toll on a relationship.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
and I think people are understanding it better now. And then, like I said, we've got more resources, so we're navigating it different.
Right.
You know,
it's with anything else, the more we research.
Yeah.
And because I have ADHD times 2. And right, I mean, to like the 5th power. But in school,
Yeah.
I was disruptive.
yeah.
I was
yeah,
a class clown.
Yeah.
My desk was always next
Yeah.
to the teacher's desk. You know what
Well,
I mean?
that doesn't surprise me, Brian.
Yes, I know. As an adult.
As,
My
as
desk
an
was
adult,
ne-
you're still sitting in the corner.
Yeah. My desk was next to my wife's desk in our office because I couldn't keep on track.
You know?
You know, but back then you were disruptive.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other, and you're down at the principal's office
Yeah.
and your folks, but they're not understanding that.
Yeah.
I just can't
Yeah.
concentrate. I have the attention span of carpet length. I do. It's
That's bad.
oh
Yeah.
my God.
You
You
know.
got me for a minute tops.
Yeah. Well, I'm lucky that I've had you for 50 episodes and you've been sitting there for like an hour and you haven't got up and moved. And
No. But
Yeah.
after a minute, I've zoned out.
Oh, well, that's good to know, Brian.
And then it sounds like
I'll
a
wake
Charlie
you up
Brown.
when I'm finished.
It sounds like Charlie Brown's classroom. I hear, "Wonk, wonk, 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 wonk," and then I hear, "Isn't that right, Brian?" I go, "Yes, absolutely. Are we done?"
Yeah. No, but see, coming back to your ADHD back at school, you know, people saying that it was you're just being a disobedient kid. There's that old school mentality, you know, and I realize that I am married to a salty old frogman,
Right.
and that makes me a salty old frogman's wife. It does, you know,
Yeah.
and the thing is, it's crazy because people ask me, you know, how come you guys are still together? And it's really simple. We had a very, very kind of like, I think, unorthodox kind of relationship.
Right.
You know, we knew after 6 days. I was in the Middle East. I moved over. There was a period of time there, though, where we kind of like sat down and and we did this because of the situation we were in.
Right.
And I was like, all right, dude, what do you like with money? I saw the gambling book on the floor. Not impressed. You know,
Right.
what do you like? What's your religion? How do you raise kids? Da. And my guy was real simple, straightforward with me. Hey, this is my priorities.
Right.
This is where you come. This is how I rock and roll. And I was like, okay, I think it's a match.
Right, I can
you
live
know.
with that, yeah.
So for us, it was a little bit different, you know. And I think that I just
Well, let me
Ma-
ask you, as a military wife,
Yeah.
and the military wives that you're in contact with,
Mm-hmm.
is it is not necessarily an issue, but is it difficult to maintain your own identity, or are you
Is it
always your spouse's wife?
No. I don't rock and roll like that, Brian.
Right.
I think there are. I have come. Man, I can't talk for everybody. Personally, some of the women that I hang with, they are go-getters, entrepreneurs, going out and kicking ass. And there are some women that I know that are really happy, just to, do what they need to do at home. They're very proud of what their husband does,
right.
But it doesn't become them.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And then, of course, there's always that small fraction where, they're riding coattails and you just want to go, like it's, the number one question I always get asked. What's it like living with a Navy SEAL? I don't know. That's the truth. I don't know what it's like living with a Navy SEAL. It's not like he's fucking coming through windows, smashing shit and blowing shit up and,
You mean he's not?
Thank God, do you know what I mean? He's not doing that. So I know what it's like to live with my guy as my husband, and that's what I know. And then I laugh about it internally because sometimes I think to myself, dude, I mean, you are hot shit, but you've got a set of skills that are pretty darn useless in the house.
Outside of that's too funny.
But again, it all comes down to, with every human on every level, is just communication.
Right. I've told that
That's
to everyone.
it. Yeah.
Every young couple that I meet.
Yeah.
And I say the same thing. It's communication.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's communication and mutual respect.
Yeah.
That's the key to a successful marriage. I don't want anyone to come for me, that's a marriage counselor or anything like that. But that's what I lacked in my first marriage, which lasted 15 years. Wow. And a year later, my second marriage, which lasted 22 years, or is lasting.
Hey.
22 years, because we communicate and we have mutual respect. She respects me and what I do, and I respect her and what she does. And although we don't see eye to eye on religion, which is the only thing, I respect her and her devotion to her religion. Yeah. And she respects me and my non-devotion to organized religion.
Yeah, I mean, you see, it's when you break it down. I always say to people, look, if you can write down the facts, take the emotion out. Because once the emotion is in it, you can't see anything. You're just clouded by it. Take the emotion out and write down the facts. Is that the hill you want to die on?
Yeah, for sure.
9 times out of 10, it ain't worth it. Like my guy, being honest, there's a shit ton of stuff that guy does that annoys the hell out of me. Right. And I do a shit ton of stuff that annoys the hell out of him. But I cannot imagine... I can't imagine my life without him. We've spent a long time together, and in this community, I have got friends that have been, I don't want to say like yourself, Brian, but I mean, they've been married a couple of times, We're going on over 26 years. I'm learning a lot about him. He's learning a lot about me.
You're constantly learning about your spouse,
And I've said, if you don't learn from your spouse, I don't know,
But you got to remember, though, situations change, right?
Yeah.
So your relationship with your husband, who I still can't believe is a Navy SEAL, because I meet him, I've spoken to him, and I go, this guy should be selling flowers. He doesn't seem like somebody that has interrogation techniques and whatever his skill set is to be a Master Chief. I watch enough TV and I'm thinking, oh, these are the guys that you send in when you got a problem. You know what I mean? And I just didn't see that with him. I'm like, this is the nicest guy. He keeps saying, let's go play, I want to go play golf with this guy.
Yeah. Listen, when I've got a problem, believe me, he's the one that has to go into his kid's room and say, hey, clean this shit up.
Right.
So I still send him in when there's a problem.
Right.
But yeah,
I would imagine his interrogation with the kids. All right, who broke this? Not me. Close the door.
Yeah. 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 But, that's, I think that... like most guys in that profession that I know, again, if you ask their wife, hey, what's it like living with a Navy SEAL? She'd tell you the same thing. They're not Navy SEALs at home, and they shouldn't be. And I don't think there's, you know what I mean? I'm married to my guy for my guy.
Right.
And it's funny, though, because India, to my knowledge, has no Navy SEAls. Right. I don't know if they have a special forces, but I remember telling my parents, little old Indian couple, what he did for a living, And I remember hearing my mother tell the neighbor, good Scots fella, telling him one day, he was like, oh, I see your son-in-law is at home. What does he do? And my mom, God bless her cotton socks, Mom, I love you. She's turned around, she's like, oh, very top secret. I cannot be telling you. Very, very, very top secret. I was like, God bless you. God bless you. I love you. And they worshipped the ground he walked on. They had very little understanding of his profession.
Right.
But, and again, to the point of what's it like to live with a Navy SEAL, they didn't see that. They just sort of, great guy.
Right. As long as he's making my daughter happy.
Yeah.
And, as parents, that's what we do. You meet their chosen spouse or, whatever. And the first thing you do is you say, I hope this person makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? From everything else from that point is, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what you say to your kids. Does that person make you happy?
Yeah.
And so, Navy SEAL or whatever, again, that's one of those things that, that happens in civilian life also. Yeah,
and I think when we really dumb it down, I think the equation to life is quite simple, really, It's not hard. It's like I say to my kids all the time, hey, look, man, your only job is to be nice.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't beat your wife. Don't beat your kids. Live within your means. And whatever job you choose to do, make sure you're the best at it.
What you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
do everything to the best of your ability.
I know. Now, listen, talking about the best of our ability, we've got to talk about our upcoming episodes, our 51 and moving forward, because we've had some great people on in the past.
Yes.
I've got to give a shout out to a couple of women just now. Carol Bender, Angie DeJarnette. Oh my God, Brian. Oh my gosh, Kemi Pavlicek. We're going to have Sean Bowie on. Okay, you haven't met Sean Bowie, but she's the dessert lady.
Right.
Yes.
So we've edited, right?
We have. Yes. Yeah. So we got some good guests coming up. Phil Kendrow.
Okay.
From the Veterans Beer Club.
And, let everyone know that starting at the beginning of the year, it's all video, not just audio.
That's right.
So, check out the YouTube channel.
Yeah. That's right. Since January, I've been on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't gone to YouTube, listen, check us out. Let us know what you think. Good, bad, or ugly. I need to have some feedback. What else are we doing? The YouTube channel was Hairy Scary. Yeah. Hey, listen, everybody out there knows this. If you're in business for yourself and you're trying to move forward, it's hard. It can be really challenging. But go to our YouTube channel. Please check me out on Instagram as well. DM us, let us know what you want to hear from us. Next month is going to mark 2 years. Talking of dates. In 2 days, it'll be Kimmy's birthday. So please DM Kimmy at the Goode Show and wish her a happy birthday. Brian, I'm so glad you did this episode with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for getting me out of bed.
Oh, always, Brian.
I might have just slept and, I don't know, been comfortable.
Why, man? Why be comfortable when you can be up and doing this?
But we're in San Diego, so it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad deal at all. Listen, thank you, everybody, for your support over the past 50 episodes. Please spread the word. We'll be doing some events this coming year as well. Check us out on Instagram at The Goode Show. My name's Surinder. I've been your host. Please DM me. Let's share your story. I'm out.
I'm out too.
Thanks for tuning in to The Goode Show. I hope you have been inspired by today's conversation. If you loved what you heard, help us spread the word. Follow me on Instagram at The Goode Show. As military spouses, we all have stories to share, experiences, resources, and support. I want to hear your story and highlight your business. Let's connect, DM me, or visit surindergoode.com to share your journey. Until next time, take care, stay inspired, and keep doing good things.